Hi, I'm Jim Klein, Peter LSU beat writer for NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune. I'm with Chris Landry, an NFL analyst and scout who's been looking over these guys, thousands of guys, and grading them, and a couple of LSU guys that are going to be in the draft, not necessarily first-round picks, but high picks probably, probably second day. Linebacker Quan Alexander and defensive end Danielle Hunter, both of them coming out early, passing on that final year. Chris, Danielle Hunter looked like a guy who could have used another year as much as anybody I've seen coming out. He probably could have come back and maybe been a first-round pick in 2016. What are your thoughts on him? Where does he have to get better?
Well, I do agree. I think most could benefit from another year. I think he could. I think he, on the downside where he could have improved, is he plays a little high, so he loses a little leverage. But I'm a big fan of his. I've pounded the table around the league for him. I think he's got great length. I think he's got the ability to set the edge well. And I think he's got nifty pass rush skills. You know, when you have the ability to keep offensive linemen at bay, I think he can become a pretty effective player. He reminds me a little of Jason Pierre-Paul that came out of South Florida a few years ago. It's with the Giants, who was the best pass rusher in the league a few years ago and then had some injuries. I don't know that he'll be, the best pass rusher in the league type, but I think he'll be really good. I think he's very underrated. I think he'd be great value in the second round. And he would have, I think he would have probably moved himself up quite a bit had he come back for another year. But I like his motor. I like his ability to play off of blocks. Again, I think that the biggest problem he has is that he plays a little high, and a lot of that he gets peaking, and that hurts him, and he gets washed out of place. But I like the young man. I think he'll work, and I think he'll only get better. I think he'll end up being a guy that will be a benefit to a team, him coming out a year early for them, and that they'll get a guy that is probably more of a first-round potential in the second round because of the fact that he's not quite as developed.
What about his chances of playing outside linebacker in a 3-4? He did talk about, he said some of the teams asked him about that.
I think 3-4 teams, obviously, first of all, 3-4 teams, to play defensive end, you can't play defensive end unless you're a two-gap player, and that's not Danielle. I think he can in some of the workouts for 3-4 teams. You've got to see him as a Sam backer. I think he is capable of setting the edge against the run as a Sam backer. I don't see him as a great drop guy. Personally, he's got greater value and second-round value to me as a 4-3 left end. I think play on the right side, I think he's a 4-3 left end. Now, for 3-4 teams as a Sam backer, I think it's a little high to be considering him as a second-round guy. But that's what he's going to have to be for 3-4 teams, a Sam backer. And I think what he has done in workouts is shown a little bit better ability to drop from a two-point stance and maybe do some of the linebacker things as Sam backer. So I think he's got a chance, but I think he's going to be valued more by the 4-3 teams.